Have a nice day. Today is Sunday, 24th of November 2024. 24 November is celebrated as Lachit Divas in the Indian state of Assam. It commemorates the memory of the great Assamese military commander Lachit Borphukan, who played a pivotal role in defending the region against the Mughal invasion during the late 17th century. So remember the great Assamese military Lachit Divas. Starting the newspaper with the world news, including Stanford's Jay Bhattacharya emerges as top pick for Trump to be NIH director. United Nations climate talks secure $300 billion annual fund for developing nations in landmark deal. India rejects $300 billion conference of Party 29 climate finance deal, calls it optical illusion. Trump picks former policy advisor Brooke Rollins as agriculture secretary. Tens of thousands protest soaring rents in Spain's Barcelona. Canada's top general defense woman in combat confronts United States senator. Now from the Hindu newspaper, some briefly, Israeli strikes in central Beirut kill at least 20 as diplomats push for ceasefire. Civil defense members and rescuers work at the site of an Israeli strike in Beirut's Basta neighborhood amid the ongoing hostilities between the Hezbollah and Israeli forces. Lebanon, November 23, 2024. Lebanon's health ministry said 66 people were wounded in the strikes, which were the fourth in the central Beirut in less than a week. Israeli airstrikes on Saturday, November 23, 2024 in the central Beirut killed at least 20 people, officials said, as one race attacks on the heart of Lebanon's capital continued without warning, while diplomats scrambled to broker a ceasefire. Lebanon's health ministry said 66 people were wounded in the strikes, which were the fourth in the central Beirut in the less than a week. India opposes Conference of Party 29 finance deal after it is adopted, terms it optical illusion. People walk next to the logo of the Conference of Party 29, United Nations Climate Change Conference in Baku, Azerbaijan, to November 23, 2024. The $300 billion figure, however, is far cry from the $1.3 trillion global south has been demanding in the 3 years of talks. India strongly objected to a climate finance deal agreed at the United Nations Conference of Party 29 summit on Sunday, November 24, 2024, that is today, but their objection was raised after the deal was formally adopted by consensus. I regret to say that this document is nothing more than an optical illusion. This, in our opinion, will not address the enormity of the challenge as well we all face. Therefore, we oppose the adoption of this document. Indian delegation representative Chandni Raina told the closing plenary session of the summit. Meanwhile, Nigeria backed India's stance and termed the finance deal a joke. Earlier, developed countries made a final offer of $300 billion annually by 2035 to help developing countries tackle climate change. Hours after two groups of the world's most climate vulnerable countries stormed out of the negotiating room at Conference of Party 29. Now, going to the Hindustan Times newspaper stated that Mahayuti seizes a Maha mandate. Soren keeps his Jharkhand crown. Bharatiya Janata Party supports burst crackers during a celebration as Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister and party candidate Devendra Fadnavis leads from the Nagpur Southwest constituency in the state assembly election in Nagpur on Saturday. A three-party alliance led by the Bharatiya Janata Party swept Maharashtra in a record-busting victory, and Jharkhand Mukti Morcha JMM propelled the India bloc onto an unprecedented second consecutive term in Jharkhand, bringing the curtain down on the final rounds of the election this year and setting the stage for renewed churn in national politics. Manipur government extends internet ban by 2 more days till November 25. Security personnel patrol vulnerable areas in Manipur. This Manipur government on Saturday extended the ban on the mobile internet services by 2 more days till November 25 Monday in 9 districts, according to the Home Department order. The state authority had initially suspended internet services on November 16 for 2 days to thwart the design and activities of anti-national and anti-social elements and to maintain peace and communal harmony and to prevent any loss of life by stopping the spread of disinformation and false rumors through various social media platforms. The order to extend the ban comes after the state witnessed widespread protests and subsequent curfew in 5 districts over the recovery bodies of 6 civilians, 3 women and 3 children who went missing after 10 armed militants were killed in an encounter with the security forces on November 11. Now going towards the economy of the country from the business point of view, Adani private linked company and IPR tangle in the United States could impact a $10 billion American investment plan. The commission had received a complaint against 2 Adani firms, Adani Solar USA, based in Irving, Texas, and India-based Adani Green Energy Limited, among others, for allegedly violating Section 337 of the United States Tariff Act of 1930. If Adani Green Energy is found to have violated Section 337, the US ICC may issue an exclusion order to block the importation of the infringing goods into the United States. None of Adani Group's 11 public companies are subject to indictment of Group CFO. United States prosecutors in New York on Wednesday charged Chairman Gautam Adani, Sagar Adani, and 6 others for allegedly offering rupees 2029 crore in bribes to Indian government officials. Adani Group CFO Jogeshendra Singh during a press conference in Ahmedabad on August 29, 2024. Foreign investor pull out rupees 1.55 lakh crore from Indian stock market since October, sell-off intensity to decline. However, domestic institutional investors invested rupees 37,559 crore in the month of November so far and rupees 1,07,254 crore in the October month this year. Traders work on the floor at the New York Stock Exchange in New York City on Friday. Going towards the science and tech, we have some questions. Why is there a row over climate finance? The logo of the Conference of Party 29 United Nations Climate Change Conference is seen next to the temporary fences in the Baku, Azerbaijan on November 22, 2024. For this, the 29th edition of the Conference of Party, arguably the most important of the United Nations Climate Conference, was scheduled to the end on November 22nd after 11 days of the negotiations and take a collective step forward in the addressing rising carbon emissions. However, deliberations are expected to carry on beyond the deadline, with the several sticking points outstanding. Now, the significance of Conference of Party 29 going into the talks, developing countries had stated that at least $1 trillion per year from 2025 to 35 would be necessary to meet emission targets. This was seen to be the new collective quantified goal, NCQG, on climate finance, which refers to the money that will be given to the developing countries by developed countries to help the former meet their goals to transition away from the continued use of fossil fuels and curb greenhouse gas emissions. Developing countries have been repeatedly saying that the figure should be trillions of dollars. To this end, developed countries have mobilized and transferred $115 billion in the 2021-22, a controversial clause that has yet to be resolved in the Universal Agreement. But per the Paris Agreement, a new target higher than the $100 billion must be agreed upon by 2025. The talks in Baku are expected to conclusively agree upon a number, but there continues to be a sharp split between the developed and developing countries on the quantum and other basic aspects of what this NCQG should look like. What can Commission for Air Quality Management to do improve Delhi air? A thick layer of the smoke can be seen near India Gate, amid rising pollution in New Delhi on November 23, 2024. While the Supreme Court pulls up the Commission for Air Quality Management, air pollution in Delhi has been in the several plus category for the most part of the last 10 days. This week, the Supreme Court pulled up the Commission for Air Quality Management (CAQM), the government's monitoring agency on its inadequate pollution control response. CAQM is the national capital region, and adjoining areas came into existence through an ordinance in 2020, which was later replaced by the Act of the Parliament in 2021. The CAQM was set up for better coordination, research, in identification and resolution of problems surrounding air quality and connected issues. It initially had 15 members comprising officials past and present of the Environment Ministry and the Department of Union Government, as well as officials of the various state government and representatives from NGOs and the other agencies. The CAQM is now headed by Rajesh Verma and there are 27 members. How should India tackle diabetes load? Story so far. On International Diabetes Day, November 14, a paper published The Lancet based on a global study recorded over 800 million adults living with diabetes, with more than half not receiving treatment. According to this study, the total number of adults living in the either type 1 or type 2 diabetes in the world has surpassed 800 million, or 4 times the total number in the 1990. Of this, over a quarter, 212 million live in India, with another 148 million in China. The estimate came as a bit of shock because the last scientific countrywide estimate by Indian Council of Medical Research (ICMR) INDIB study last year had pegged the number at slightly over 100 million. Why is there a discrepancy in numbers? The nub of it is in the means used to measure blood sugar, experts have pointed out. The Lancet study, conducted by the NCD Risk Factor Collaboration, along with the World Health Organization, used data from over 140 million people, 18 plus years, culled from more than 1,000 studies in different countries. They estimated trends from 1990 to 2022 in diabetes prevalence and enforcement for 200 countries and territories. As such, they had to use what available as data in these nations, picking fasting glucose or HbA1c or 3 months glycated hemoglobin average. The ICMR study, however, used a fasting measure and a 2-hour postprandial value to come up with the number of people who have elevated blood sugar levels. At last, there's a famous personality, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who was an Indian economist, jurist, social reformer, and a political leader. He is best known for his role in drafting the Constitution of India, for which he is often referred to as the father of the Indian Constitution. He was also a prominent leader of the Dalit community, fighting for their rights and social justice. Some important points about Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He was a champion of Dalit rights. He fought against the social discrimination and untouchability faced by Dalits. He was the architect of the Indian Constitution. He chaired the drafting committee of the Indian Constitution, ensuring it reflected principles of equality and social justice. Promoter of education, he emphasized the importance of education for social unfitment, especially for marginalized communities. Advocate for women's rights, he supported women's rights and their participation in public life. He was a best social reformer. He worked towards reforming Hindu society and promoting intercaste marriages. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's legacy continues to inspire millions of people, particularly Dalits, to strive for equality and social justice. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar says a very famous quotation. He says that life should be great rather than long. Okay, thank you.